All right, on today's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our TensorFlow course, and we're still doing our data preparation module. We actually finished that up this morning, but let's go over what we went over today. Now, if you recall, yesterday we were doing normalizations. That's what we picked up today. So here we start is a note. It is not every situation that we can get the mean up front. There are cases where we just have the data, so we wouldn't perform mean and variance up front. What TensorFlow allows us to do is to obtain the mean and variance automatically. So the TensorFlow allows us to adapt to the data given. Now what that means is we don't have to specify the mean and the variance inside our normalization function or method right here like we did up top. Let me show you. So we wouldn't have to specify it here like this with the mean and the variance. We can actually use a different kind of method to actually do that for us automatically. So let's get a look at that now. All right, and so if we are given this data here, 2D, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, for example, what we are going to do is get the mean and variance for the first column, then the second column, and so on and so forth. And we'll also be able to normalize our data. And this is how we would run the adapted version. It would be normalizer equal normalization without the mean and variance inside. Then we would put our 2D in, and then we would run this method here, normalizer.adapt.x normalize. And that would give us an input of this 2D here, negative ones and ones. And how do we get this? So here the mean is 3.5, and it's 3.5 because you can see here our first column is 3 and 4, which means the median number or the mean number would be 3.5. So what we do is we subtract the 3 from 3.5 and we divide that by a standard deviation of 0.5. How do we know the standard deviation is 0.5? Because that's the deviation between 3 and 4. Yeah, it is. So if it's 3.5 is the mean, that means zero point 0.5 to the left will give us 3, zero point 0.5 to the right will give us 4. And that's how we perform our operation. If you go down further, you can see that's exactly what we did here. We have 3, take away 3.5, which is our mean. So 3 here, take away our mean, 3.5, divided by our standard deviation of 0.5. And that gave us an output of negative 1. As you can see, it's correct. And just to make sure, we're going to do the same thing with the 4 and see if we get a 1. So let's go down a little bit further at the next example. So we have 4, take away 3.5, which is our mean, divided by a standard deviation of 0.5, and we got our 1. So, yep, that's what we did this morning. We actually finished up this module. We just did a bunch of different examples and the different methods, the different ways, and actually started performing it on our tensors to make sure everything was holding up legit. But everything did go through, and we are making progress. So, yep, our next module is going to be linear regression models. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. But for now, this is the Python Papi. You guys stay Gucci.